Hey everyone, it's Anthony from Pretty Printed here. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to send JSON data along with the requests in Python using the Python requests library. So the reason why I'm introducing this video is because it's from one of my courses, Learn Python Requests, and it kind of starts off in the middle of something, but it does cover the topic in its entirety. So if you want to check out the course after you're done watching the video, I have a link in the description below so you can check it out. And if you also want to use the tool that I'm using in the video, I have a link to that as well. So like always, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below and I'll get to it. And if you like the video after you're watching, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. So thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video.
So oftentimes in a request, you want to send some JSON data along with the request. Well, sending JSON data is just as easy as sending URL parameters. Really, the only thing that changes is instead of using the params parameter, you're going to use the JSON parameter, and I will demonstrate that right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a payload, and I'll leave it blank for now because this payload is going to depend on the endpoint that I'm sending to. So I'll look that up in just a moment. But what I'll do is I'll type requests, and then I'll use get for now, but I might have to change that. And the URL I'll leave blank for now. And I'll use the JSON parameter and I'll pass in payload. So this is blank so far, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the payload with something, and then I'm going to send to some URL. And the reason why that's all blank is because I'm going to go to request response this time, and I'm going to send a post request to create. So looking at the documentation here, I'm sending a post request to create. So here's the endpoint. So request response is the first part. And then slash API users. So I'll add that in. So the payload is still blank. And what it expects is a JSON object with a name and a job. So the example here is Morpheus and Leader. And as you can see, if you were to send those two things, what you would get in response is Morpheus and Leader, another JSON object along with an ID and a created at. So what I'll do here is I will pass in the name and the job to this payload, and that goes into JSON here. So name, Anthony, and then job is going to be programmer. So I'm going to send this to this URL, and I have to use a post request according to the documentation. Otherwise, it won't work correctly because I'll get something different when I send a GET request. So I'm sending a post request. And then what I'll do is I'll simply display the text of the response. I'm not too concerned with reading the JSON object, but it would be the same thing when you call .json that I showed you before, but I just want to see what it looks like. So here's the payload. Request is going to convert it to a JSON object for me because I'm using JSON. If I was using params, it would do something different, but by doing JSON here, I have my dictionary converted to a JSON object. So I'll go ahead and send this request by running my script, and I can see what I get back. So I get my name and my job back, and then I have some random ID created, and I have created at. And that is just exactly what the documentation tells me that I'm going to get. So any good documentation, of course, is going to tell you what you get in response. And in this particular case, you see that the response status code is 201. So instead of 200, I get 201. So let me print R just so we can see if we get that status code. Response 201. So 201 simply means that something was created successfully. So it's still a 200 status code, meaning success, but 201 means created successfully. It could have been 200. It just depends on the API. And this particular one is 201. So I sent it again. You can see the ID has changed. The created at has changed, but the name and job are the same because I sent the same data. So sending a JSON object is just as easy as sending URL parameters.